Trump wants to ditch his deal to post first on Truth Social and return to Twitter, report says. So, apparently, Meghan Markle won't be writing that tell-all memoir after all. Al Sharpton doubles down on Tawana Brawley rape accusation hoax. Should I apologize? Donald Trump has one fatal flaw. Prince of Wales, psychologists suggest Harry's trauma and paranoia are to blame for constant crusades against royal family.
This is breaking news.
I'm Erin Burnett in Washington.
Trump wants to ditch his deal to post first on Truth Social and return to Twitter, report says. Trump wants to end an exclusivity deal with Truth Social and get back on Twitter, Rolling Stone reported. Truth Social CEO Devin Nunes denied an earlier report that Trump wants to make the switch. The exclusivity agreement is up for renewal in June, just as the campaign season heats up. See more. Former President Donald Trump is preparing a Twitter comeback, with plans to drop an exclusivity agreement he has with his own platform, Truth Social, according to reports. Trump has recently told people close to him that he doesn't want to renew the agreement with Truth Social's parent company, TMTG, two people familiar with the matter told Rolling Stone. SEC filings show that Trump is currently obliged to wait 6 hours after posting on Truth Social before posting the same content on any other social media platform, an agreement that is up for renewal in June. The agreement only applies to non-political content. He can post political messaging, political fundraising, or get out the vote efforts anywhere at any time, the agreement states. Trump hasn't tweeted since being reinstated on the platform in mid-November, following Elon Musk's takeover of the company, which heralded a shakeup of its moderation decisions. Trump was kicked off of Twitter shortly after the deadly Capitol riot of January 6, 2021. One anonymous Republican told NBC News that Trump is now plotting a return to the platform. Trump is probably coming back to Twitter. It's just a question of how and when, they said. He's been talking about it for weeks. Another told Rolling Stone that Trump didn't want to make commitments over the exclusivity agreement. Spokespeople for both Trump and TMTG did not immediately respond to insiders' request for comment. The possible return to Twitter, and the lobbying to revoke a similar ban on Facebook, comes ahead of the 2024 presidential election cycle, due to heat up with the GOP convention in June. It also brings its own calculus, mostly when it comes to sheer reach. While Trump has just shy of 5 million followers on Truth Social, he has almost 88 million followers on Twitter. Observers of Trump's meteoric political rise have long tied it to the cut and thrust of his tweeting, which is credited with changing the tone of the U.S. presidency. But there's a business dimension. Twitter is, after all, a direct competitor to Truth Social, and the move might alienate some of his most fervent fans, who mistrust Twitter, as insiders Beatrice Nolan reported. Devin Nunes, CEO of TMTG, told Newsmax in reaction to the NBC News report that Trump has no interest in going back to Twitter. Nonetheless, according to Rolling Stone, a person close to the president said there is no way Nunes' statement is true. Instead, Trump and people familiar with the matter have been toying with how to frame his return, the outlet reported. Among the ideas being floated is for a WWE-style campaign video post, or one comparing himself to Superman, according to Rolling Stone. So, apparently, Meghan Markle won't be writing that tell-all memoir after all. We're just a few days away from the long-awaited release of Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, so it kind of makes sense that the keepers of royal gossip are already teasing the next era of Sussex drama, Meghan Markle's tell-all royal memoir. Earlier this week, it was reported that Meghan was contemplating getting entirely candid about her time in the royal limelight in a tell-all of her very own, according to The Sun. However, yesterday, Entertainment Tonight learned that those reports actually are not true. Well then. Interesting to note, though, is that when the first wave of speculation that Meghan was writing the book initially came out, the goss on the subject made it sound like contemplating was understating things a bit and that Meghan might have actually been actively working on the project. She fully intends to write this book and leave no stone unturned, an anonymous royal source told OK! magazine, per The Sun. It's just a question of timing and how long she wishes to hold out in order to preserve what's left of her and Harry's relationship with King Charles. The feeling at this point is there's little to lose, and she may as well go ahead. The process is already quietly underway. According to a Mail on Sunday source, described as a Hollywood agent, Meghan's motivation for writing a tell-all would have gone beyond just sharing her story with the world, a savvy move should she plan on entering the world of American politics. I would find it surprising if Meghan didn't publish her own story, to be honest. Spare is clearly Prince Harry's chance to tell his, but hers is equally compelling. I mean, how many actresses end up marrying a prince, the agent said. If she's harboring political ambitions, it would make even more sense. According to The Sun's now-refuted report, the royal family was already bracing for Meghan to release her own memoir but would have first had to deal with the fallout from Spare, which a source reportedly said is going to be worse for them than the royal family is expecting. There's clearly no shortage of royal rumors in 2023. Al Sharpton doubles down on Tawana Brawley rape accusation hoax. Should I apologize? I have no evidence that I was misled, Sharpton said in his defense. Reverend Al Sharpton refused to apologize for allegations he made that a 15-year-old black girl was raped by a group of white men in 1987, claims that were found to be false by a grand jury. However, Sharpton doubled down on the controversial accusations he made in the notorious Tawana Brawley case as a guest on PBS show Firing Line. Absolutely not, Sharpton told PBS host Margaret Hoover when asked if his opinion on the case has changed in 35 years. I have no evidence that I was misled, Sharpton added. The one-time failed presidential candidate and civil rights activist repeatedly argued that the Brawley case should have gone to trial instead of being found a hoax by a grand jury. I don't have any different understanding because a grand jury is not a trial, Sharpton said. My position was that there was this allegation from this young lady that was really questionable behavior by some that she accused, Sharpton said, referring to the 6 white men who were found falsely accused of raping the teenager. Some of those accused were police officers, making the case especially explosive for civil rights. However, Sharpton was adamant that Brawley deserved to have her day in court, despite conclusions that the claims were a hoax, according to a grand jury that was convened to hear the rape allegations. Sharpton, who became famous as a boy preacher in Brooklyn, New York, accused the criminal justice system of being unfair. There's a famous saying by a judge in New York, "You can indict a ham sandwich if you want to," Sharpton told Hoover. He also pointed the finger at the prosecutor who once charged him with taking money from my youth group, a case that Sharpton said he beat in court. So why would I believe the prosecutor with what he did with the grand jury when I saw what he did to me? The Brawley rape allegations shocked the country and helped launch Sharpton to the national stage after Brawley said she was allegedly raped in the woods by multiple white men in Wappingers Falls, New York. She also said that she was left wrapped in a feces-covered plastic bag with racial slurs